Yeah, hi friends. Doc South here. I Today I was down at my, well, we Sandy and I like to call our closet the local Walmart. Not even a mile from here, maybe a mile and a half tops. And well, it's Saturday, and it was. I got into the parking lot. I was able to park. I probably could have walked to the Walmart probably from my house and gotten there quicker than from my parking vantage point there today in their lot. No, actually, it would still have been closer to. It was definitely still closer parking in their lot, but whoo, man, past the poor cart guy, he's pushing. I don't know, like a row of carts about 180 feet long, and he's no. I'm exaggerating, but they were in full tilt. They were running pretty heavy. And like I said, I just had to get some vitamins, and they have this wall of vitamins. It takes you to find what you want. Takes sometimes ten minutes. In this case, I got out relatively quick. As far as from the wall of vitamins, I was before I within 5 minutes I was heading for the checkout uh, area, and I don't know. I don't like using the self checkouts. Number one, because I don't understand them. They just don't make sense. Excuse me, excuse me, but they don't. They're uh, they're just way too complicated. I know a 10-year old can work them, but I'm not a 10-year old. Right? Way way too old for that. So I go to the cashier line, and honestly, I don't care if the cashier line is a little long. I at least get to talk to a human, and usually being me, I get into a conversation, and today was no different. There was a fella in front of me, he and his wife, and they had this box that was a little bit, I'd say about half the size of a sheet of plywood. What is plywood? 4 by 8. Okay, this is say a third the size of a sheet of plywood. Okay, and it was they were buying a flat screen TV. And again, Sandy and I have a big enough TV for our little bungalow. I mean, God, if we got one of those huge TVs, I don't know how we get it through the door. But this guy was, again, like I said, a relatively good sized TV. I think I said, boy, you're getting one of the biggies, huh? He says, yeah. He says, they're not that much money. I said, well, gee, they used to be quite a bit. He said, well, now I think he said this one's like 150 bucks. Might have been 200, but it wasn't much more than that. Wasn't much more than that. And he says it's a darn good model too. I said, was it on closeout or what? No, he said they're just having a sale. I said, boy. I said, now don't you have to go through torture to get it all hooked up? I said, you have to call in a team of technicians and antenna experts and stuff. He says, no, no. He says it's you just hook it up to your. He said, in fact, we have uh, at uh, at our house. He said, I think he said we have rabbit ears, really nice rabbit ears. That or he had a regular, typical TV antenna from like the 50s. Um, no, no, he did not. I think he had some simple way of installing. It may have been going into his cable box. Again, I don't know. But we got to talking about the antennas, and I said, "Yeah," I said, "you look to be roughly the same age as me." I said, "Do you remember the?" And it turns out, yeah, he was in his 70s. Excuse me. And we got to yakking, and said, "So once you get this hooked up, gosh, it's going to be really, really nice, good size and all that, good resolution." He says, "Yeah, you should see it. They're up there in the back. They got one going." I said, "Boy, sure, a far cry from back in the day, huh?" He says, "Oh my God, yes." He says, "Remember all the snow on the TV screen? If you didn't get the rabbit ears just right." I said, "Yeah, yeah. You had to figure it out for each channel." And he said, well, and then he said, that's another thing. Remember, he said what in the late 50s, if you had rabbit ears, you had to rearrange them and all that, but you only had what he said. Let's see. He said, I'll count off the channels I had. He said, let's see, we had channel 2, channel 4, channel 5, channel 7. He said eventually, he said channel 9 came in, and I think we had channel 13. And I don't know if channel 11 was quite on the air back in those days. It eventually became, so eventually we had like 7 channels out of 13, a possible 13. No, a possible 12, because we went from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so it had been 12 channels. That's all we had to pick from. And again, some of the channels came in kind of fuzzy. And if you had rabbit ears on a rabbit ear antenna, this would be a bulb, like a Bakelite bulb with 2 rods coming out of it, made of metal, that you could telescope, make shorter or longer. And then what you did was, depending on the station you wanted to watch, you'd move the rabbit ear, you'd move the ball in a direction till you got what you thought was a pretty good, um, uh, what would you call it? A relatively good input from the antenna. In other words, you didn't have a whole lot of snow all over the screen. If you turned it a little bit left or right, it might get fuzzy on you. Right, so you had to get it just right, just focused right, and then sit back. And then sometimes it would goof up about halfway through the show, so you had to go readjust it. Uh-huh. I know, people would say, no, you didn't. Yeah, no, we did. And the rabbit ears, sometimes maybe you had to have the left one maybe at 45 degrees, while uh, the other one would be straight up and down. And you just fought through it. And I think if there was interference, I think from electric lines, or maybe your neighbor was maybe using their ringer washer, you might get, you'd get, your picture would get fuzzy. And again, and the TV stations would come on in the morning, about 6 in the morning, and they'd go till maybe 11 o'clock at night. Well, I think I said that earlier, but yeah, through the night, no, go to bed. It's absolutely amazing how far television has come in my lifetime. Let's see. I guess TV's most of my life. Most of my life, there's been television one way or another. Huh? Jeez. Well, it's pretty cool. You get right down to it. It ain't a bad thing. And this guy was all tickled. He and the wife were. He figured he'd have it all set up and ready to watch tonight. I noticed too, yes, they had some popcorn in their shopping basket. Yep, yep. So some things never change. Anyway, I thought I'd say, bless their hearts. They look like a nice couple. Anyway, I'll see you later. And maybe a little later on, I'll go watch something on TV. It's almost too many channels now. You in a way, you're kind of like a fly in a nudist camp. You don't know where to start first. It's just amazing how many wonderful stations there are. But you've of course, I guess you can record now. They got ways you can, if there's 2 on at the same time, you can record one and watch the other, from what I hear. Yeah, oof, man, amazing, amazing. Well, we live in wonderful times. I'll see you later. God bless.